Welcome back, crew. I know it's already October, but today we're wrapping up our September game of the month, Into the Odd, with our review of the system. If you haven't already, go check out our actual play. It's already posted up on the YouTube with Let's Play Into the Odd. But today we're going to break down the system, and if this is your first time watching one of our reviews, what we do is we go over kind of the roses, buds, and thorns. And if you're not familiar with that, go check out Not Another D&D podcast. They're who I completely ripped it off from. But basically, it's what you liked, the roses, what you may not have liked, the thorns, and what you're excited for kind of in the future with that system. So we go through that. We also go through different things you could take from this system and apply to other games, whether it be D&D 5e, Pathfinder, whatever you're playing at the table. Just some cool things from the system you can kind of bring along with you as you move to different tables. But before we dive into that, since it is October, we are running Aliens as our game of the month for October. So join us October 26th. So next Wednesday, just a little bit of ways now, and come through as we play the Alien system based off the Ridley Scott films by Free League. We're going to be diving into it. We've got a great crew for it, and we're going to have some fun Halloween-ish alien shenanigans, and we'll see if they've got what it takes to survive my xenomorph hordes they're going to be facing. So come through, it'll be a blast. And just like we did for the odd, and we always do for our games of the month, we'll be raffling off a copy of the PDF of the system. So if you ever wanted to run kind of the alien universe, or from what I've seen so far, any sci-fi universe or sci-fi horror universe will work pretty well with that rule set. So come through, check it out. It should be a blast. But let's get back into the odd. So this one was a fun one to play. I got a couple cool. We're gonna start off with roses for it, and my biggest is this is a perfect one-shot game. It's just one that you can build a character in 5 minutes. If you've checked out our YouTube videos, you've seen that. Whether it be the character creation one or even the actual play that we did, because two of our characters built their PC live at the table, and that's really one of those ones that's great if players cancel and you're like, hey, I still want to play. Let's get the crew together. You just roll a couple dice. You've got a full PC, and you can kind of build them out and go have some fun with it. So I love that. Kind of flowing along with that too. The rules are very easy. You got three core stats: will, strength, and dexterity, and basically they govern everything you do. So it's very there's not a lot of things you have to worry about. It's rolling that d20 and making sure you're below whatever stat that's used for the save. So it keeps it simple. It makes it so that you can teach somebody it in 10 minutes and just kind of get them playing right into the fiction, right into the action. And I love that about that. And as I said before in the videos, this is my first time playing Into the Odd, but I did play Kieran, which is built off the Into the Odd system. I didn't realize how much so before this. But yeah, it's very similar. Both of these now are kind of my go-to. Somebody's canceled. I want to play, or I want to play a game, but I don't want to have my players spend a ton of time making their sheets, and maybe I don't want to spend a lot of time prepping. Just throw it on, because one of the nice things too for the DMs here, especially if you've DM'd for a while, is you can kind of just go off the cuff. With these games, I had a little bit of a concept in mind, but kind of building out the dungeons, I just kind of throw things I've seen in the past and look up some cool monsters and go at it from there. Another great thing with this, and if you've watched my channels, you know I love having the actual books and kind of leafing through the art. Into the Odd does a great job with like the trippy art. I liked it. It's definitely one of those worth getting the hardcover just for that alone. If you like kind of flipping through your books, seeing some cool art, and kind of being able to kind of hold it in your hands like I do. Like I'm old. I like to be able to hold it, kind of look through. Even though I do always have to have a PDF copy just so I can quickly search through things, especially as I'm DMing. But just for me, when I'm reading it, kind of doing my notes for these videos or ready prepared for a game, I like to have that hard copy to leaf through. So definitely worth it there. It's pretty inexpensive too, so you're not going to break the bank on this one. So those are kind of my big roses for it, and a lot of them centered around it's quick, it's easy, you can get into the fiction, you can jump into the play, and just kind of get everybody on board. It's great for people who like rules light systems, because the rules, like, I think 10 pages, and you're good to go. You know what you need to do, and you can just play and have fun. So those are my roses. We're gonna go into my buds next. And so one with this system, there was not a lot that you could really kind of take away. It kind of fits into its own form. So I'm gonna kind of cheat a little bit on the buds. I'm gonna give you a few things you can do if you're playing this system to enhance it a little bit. I've mentioned Karen before. I'm going to throw a link to the Karen website in the description. Karen is a free to play game, so it's completely free. It's online. You can go to their website and get their rules as well as their monsters too. There's two things from Karen. If you're playing Into the Odd, I would steal from Karen. So I already talked on one, the monsters. They've got fully fleshed out monsters. Into the Odd doesn't have a ton of good or a ton of monsters, and there's I think like 5 or 6 examples. But into the with Karen, you can go through and borrow monsters, have them kind of tweak them to fit the realm of your campaign. And since they use the same rule set pretty much, they're good to go. There's nothing you really need to change. So check that out. A little free hint on that side. And the other thing from Karen, I would steal for any Into the Odd, especially if you're playing it as a one shot versus like a campaign. Karen has this really cool personality piece. You kind of go through, and after you roll your stats and roll your profession, you go through and kind of roll your personality traits. Like if you're stinky, if you're frugal by nature, or if you're a royal noble blood. It's one of those ones we've had some fun. Check out some of our actual plays too with Karen. It's just really, really fun to have a kind of, especially with these ones where we're usually doing them as one shots where you may not have fleshed out a character. You get some cool traits that you can RP and have a blast with. Now, if you're doing a full campaign or short arc, I definitely recommend just making it yourself. But for a one shot, getting something that you would not normally play is a lot of fun and just really opens up some doors. So I recommend that. So for anything that you'd steal, just steal some of those, the personality pieces, the monsters from Karen, and try out just a full Karen game too. It's a lot of fun too. But definitely if you're playing Into the Odd, I recommend those two, especially as a DM. It's going to take a little bit of pressure off your plate for having to find some monsters. So definitely some cool stuff there. So those are our buds. The Thorn, there's only really one Thorn I would say for this. I liked the system. I had a blast with it. My only piece was it may not be my favorite for a long-term campaign. Because while it is very simple in nature for building your PC and running your PC, there's just not a lot of cool customization pieces, and there's not a lot of in depth behind the system and mechanics to really make it kind of a long campaign explorable. You can definitely tell a great story with it, but I just feel that if a long term campaign, sessions after sessions, I may be a little bit ready to branch out a bit. But that's my only thorn for it. For me, I'll primarily be using this system for one shots, getting people together. Like if tomorrow, I got some free time, my wife's doing something. Hit up my Discord, like, hey, do you guys want to play? That way we can get our game going, get it running, and have everybody have a blast. But that's just kind of a quick look for it. Kind of on the side, there's not a lot to take away from the system either. And we've kind of went through the buds too. There's not like I feel like I've experienced a full system. But it's definitely one I highly recommend checking out. I think it's only like $30 on Free League's website. We're giving Free League a lot of love between Lord of the Rings, or the One Ring, I should say, the Into the Odd, which they're just publishing it for Chris McDowell's remaster, and then now Alien. So Free League has definitely been one of my favorites, or great company to kind of buy games from, enjoying them. Shout outs to Free League. But yeah, it's a cool game. I highly recommend checking it out. But also, don't forget to come check us out this month. October, we are running Alien. October 26th, which is Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be diving into the Alien system. I'm really stoked for this one, reading through the mechanics. I think it'll be a blast. So come through and join us, and maybe you'll have a chance to win a copy of the PDF. But also keep tuned. We're going to be this Saturday. We'll be here Saturday or Sunday, I should say. We'll have a how to build an Alien PC video up, kind of diving into that side. And PC build is always my favorite part of any system. So I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing how Alien has it set up and how we can get our crew up and running. But thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely check out Into the Odd. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe. Each month we do this. We pick a new game and dive into it, go over the mechanics, go over how to build a PC, review it, give some fun things to take away from it, and just make sure that you're kind of showcasing other games outside of the 5e bubble. So like, subscribe, check us out, and drop a comment too. tell me about some of your adventures with End of the Odd. Tell us about some systems we should be checking out too. I've got October already set up. I think I've got an idea for November, but I'm always open to suggestions on what TTRPGs the crew wants to see. So drop them in the comments, and until next time.